And can I share my screen? So again, thank you for being here. I'm your facilitator, Ryan Knight, here on behalf of the Empowered for X team. I'm going to be sharing my screen. Oh, can you give permission for sharing as well? Or if you want to maybe co-host, whichever is easier. All right. And again, thank you for being here. As we start off the new year 2025, I do want to say Happy New Year and let's not leave money on the table. Like, I don't know how else to put this. There has been position ourselves in front of that flow of money, but it does take purposeful effort. Like, we have to be able to see opportunities and then position ourselves as best we can to get the opportunity. And yes, not all of them are going to come through, but I'm one for persistency and consistency. And so we do these sessions once a month, really to encourage you, to show you that it works. Like, we've been able to be successful with getting grants. We've supported clients with getting grants and different funding. So the money is there. It takes some persistency for us to push through. So I want to preface that by saying I'm glad you're here. Take this learning, share it with somebody else, let them know that there's ways to get access to this funding, and we're going to do this together. So this is for the long haul. Hopefully, over this entire year, we can be working together. So we want to hear your success stories. We want to know where you're stuck so we can help you get unstuck. But I just wanted to start off and say I'm really excited to be here because this year is one of scaling and growth on my vision board. And so I'm hoping to see more come along with me. So looking forward to working with you. So a bit of housekeeping things. I mean, please do change your name if it does say Zoom user or iPhone or Android user or Samsung. I've seen sometimes. Turning on your camera is optional, but if you're asking a question, it always helps to see who's asking the question. At times, I'll go through the initial presentation, and then if you do have a specific question, feel free to raise your hand. Otherwise, put the question in the chat, and then once the presentation's over, I'll be able to get to your question. So definitely use the chat. And as we're going through, be sure to keep the mic muted. That way we'll be able to, like, once we call on you, you can unmute. Really quickly, we do want to acknowledge the first peoples of this traditional land. So I would like to begin by acknowledging the indigenous peoples of all the lands that we're on today. While we meet today on a virtual platform, I would like to take a moment to acknowledge the importance of the lands which we each call home. We do this to reaffirm our commitment and responsibility in improving relationships between nations and to improving our own understanding of local indigenous peoples and their cultures. From coast to coast to coast, we acknowledge the ancestral and unceded territory of all the Inuit, Métis, and First Nations people that call this land home. Please join me in a moment of reflection to acknowledge the effect of residential schools and colonialism on Indigenous families and communities, and to consider how we can each, in our own way, try to move forward in a spirit of reconciliation and collaboration. Thank you so much. So a little bit about Empowered for X. So we are a collaborative community that does offer consulting, training, business support, and physical co-working spaces. So if you're near the Brampton area, we'd love to have you come by our new office, which is at 350 Rutherford Road South. So we'd love to, hey, if we're doing an event or if you just want to come and get some work done and need a break from working at home, we are here. And we are definitely committed to support entrepreneurs and organizations to be top performance leaders and exponentially amplify the differences that you make. So some of the training that we do, the social enterprise certification program, which is going to be launching again this year. We do have a partner that does the mental health standard certification. We put together the mental health supporting youth certification. And we have Grant Hunter University, which is the one that I focus more on, where it helps you create your own grant blueprint and shows you the process to find the grants and go through the applications. So we're actually going to do a standalone working group around the Grant Hunter blueprint. So that's going to be happening at the end of the month. So stay tuned. But the university itself is an online course that you can go at your own pace. And every so often, we're going to do actual sessions so that we can get this blueprint done so that any grants that you find, you're not starting from scratch. You have it already, I would say 80% done. Some of the other offerings that EmpoweredForex does offer, so we have the virtual offices as well. So if you register your company and you use your home address, do know that your home address is now in the public domain. So if you don't want people knowing where you live because of the business that you registered, I would definitely think of getting a virtual address. We have locations in Brampton, Scarborough, Ottawa, and working on additional locations. So we definitely support you in that area. We have consulting services as well. So again, if you need people to actually get things done for you, we can help you with your marketing strategy and execution. We can help you with your grant writing and the actual researching of grants. We can help you build out technology, whether it's websites and different apps. And we can support you with your management operations and help you create your business plan that can help you get funding, especially if you're going for loans and debt funding. The business plan is a big component of it. And stay tuned, BizGrams is going to be coming back. So the owner of EmpoweredForex, Chris Beth Cowie, she does the promotional live show BizGrams. So if you do want to get interviewed, and Henry, I see you have the Divine Foods, would love to learn more about it. I would reach out so that we can hear more about your story. And before we continue, always love to say thank you to our valued partners, whether it's Alterna Savings, who we've partnered with to create different funding programs, SETC, the social economy through social inclusion, which helps us learn a lot about the different financing and social financing that the government is putting together. Sheridan Edge, who has a great program at Sheridan College that supports entrepreneurs. And right now they're running their RISE program. We've done the Black Founders in Clean Tech certification with them. So always new supports that are coming out. So we'll keep you in touch. Calabash, which is a cooperative of expert service providers in the Black community. So if you need consultants, you need expertise for your business or your organization, definitely check out Calabash. Or if you are a consultant or an expert service provider, I would definitely reach out to Calabash. The website is calabash.global. So check out what they do and join us so that we can help you get more business. Or if you need support, you can now find a great vendor list of expert service providers. ZSC, which is our business advisory support arm. Toronto Community Benefits Network. Shout out to Rosemary Powell, who they do great work creating community benefits agreements as construction is happening around this country, making sure that the cities and the neighborhoods that the construction is happening in or that it affects actually supports those local businesses and the community. I would say One Full Circle is our sister organization out in Montreal, doing similar things to the Afro-Caribbean Business Network. And we're being able to partner with them so that we can support those in Quebec and their residents can get support in Ontario as well. And Dream Legacy Foundation, if you do have a tech startup or if you're looking for support with the Black Entrepreneurship Knowledge Hub, a lot of things to be in the know. So Dream Legacy Foundation is at the forefront of those initiatives. So a bit about where you might fall in how you could work with the EmpoweredForex. So either DIY, things that you can do yourself, and that's where coming to these free sessions to learn about kind of what funding is there or what resources are there and going through it yourself. And also Grant Hunter University, where it's at your own pace. You get access to the course, the Grant Hunter University course, and you can go at your own pace on your own. In between, I mean, like we can offer funding summaries, we can review your grants, we can help you put together the blueprint with the working group that we're going to be doing at the end of the month. And those are usually paid sessions. And then also modify, making others do it for you. So a lot of times as entrepreneurs, we get overwhelmed doing all the pieces and pulling all the levers in this machine we call our business. So we can actually take some of those things off your plate, whether it's writing your grants or getting marketing done for you or your business plan. Those services do exist. So we do offer that. So today you're gonna meet me, learn a bit more about what I do. We're gonna do an overview of different grants and loans using our funding options spreadsheet. And I'm gonna put into the chat how to get access to that spreadsheet as well. Actually, let me do that now so that you can have it before I jump in. Okay, so if you go HTTP, I think you can just go funding.com. Oh, that won't work without the HTTPS. So let me know. Let me check if this link works actually. Yeah, so you can click in here and then it'll take you to the funding spreadsheet. All right. And then we'll give you an overview of how we can help, and we'll open it up for questions to see exactly what you're working on and see how we can assist. So a bit about myself. I do consider myself a serial social entrepreneur. My name is Ryan Knight, one of the founders of Detail Ignites, the Service Kingdom, Executives Power Up, and we are working on Black Panther's Cage. So Detail Ignites is a social enterprise, mobile, waterless car cleaning company. But what I'm most proud of with that company is our youth entrepreneurship program. So if you do know a teenager or a young adult that's looking for a summer job, we are going to be hiring shortly, I believe at the end of this month for the upcoming season starting in spring. We'll definitely send them our way. We not just hire employees, but we also show they can start their own business by going through our training. So looking forward to working with them. Service Kingdom is the consultancy we do for social enterprises, so helping nonprofit organizations start businesses that generate revenue to support the nonprofit, and also helping for-profit companies create a way to operate more as a social enterprise, so having a better positive impact in the community. Executives Power Up helps us to find key staff that makes your business more investable. A lot of times when you're looking for funding, you do need a solid team. So Executives Power Ups helps you to find that team. And Black Panther's Cage, so think of a Dragon's Den or Shark Tank, but with Black founders pitching to Black investors. As I had a positive experience on Dragon's Den pitching Detail Ignites. So we also want to create more opportunities for Black founders to get in front of investors. So that's the idea around Black Panther's Cage. It's in development. So stay tuned for that. And I'm also the co-founder of the Afro-Caribbean Business Network. So we help entrepreneurs increase their capacity with access to funding and help with their marketing and sales. And a bit more about ACBN. So it started just over 7 years ago, where as I was running Detail Ignites, we realized there weren't a lot of Black focused business organizations that I could go to when I was ready to grow my company. And with Detail Ignites, we were looking to franchise it and expand it across Canada and into the US, but there wasn't a lot of support for that. So we brought 6 other entrepreneurs together, decided, could we create this entity that would sit down with the entrepreneur, figure out what stage the business is in, and then help them create a strategy to grow their companies exponentially. And thus, ACBN Canada was born. And over the past 7 years, we've been able to work with over 6,000 Black entrepreneurs. We've seen that over 70% of them are solopreneurs. So we're trying to help businesses get their next best hire and grow their teams, because 86% of our network has less than 5 employees. So we're really working with micro businesses. And what we've put ACBN together to do is to fine tune our operations so that we can bring on a team, get it over at least 5 employees so that you have a strong team around you. And then I would say actually be considered a small business. And to do that, we're actually really happy that we've partnered with over 40 other Black focused business organizations as part of the Black entrepreneurship ecosystem that the federal government initially funded. They did look to renew it. So this year, we're looking to see it get renewed again for another 5 years. But the ecosystem is now in place where we can work with entrepreneurs all the way across Canada, no matter what stage you're in or where you are in the country, we can point you to the right support. So I've been really happy to see that ecosystem build out. A bit about the pillars that ACBN does stand on. Of course, entrepreneurship, I do believe, is the best tool that we have to develop economic empowerment. And then the convening, being able to come together like this, In March, we have our symposium, which allows us to have a whole day to build better systems for our businesses and with keynote speakers and workshops. So stay tuned and mark your calendar, March the 29th. We'd love to see you there. It's going to be at Sheridan College in Mississauga. But even if we're meeting virtually like this, it's a great time for us to share notes, for us to share what we know so that it can help you as you're growing your business and your organization. But the real reason that we're here is that access to funding and knowing that we've been able to create microloan programs in partnership with Alterna, but then we've been able to research and find all different types of funding that's out there and now get people ready to actually apply and get access to this funding is really important. So I'd like to show this slide just to give you an idea of the types of funding that's out there. And it ranges from as low as $500 all the way up to over $1 million that we've been able to access. And the different types as well, whether it's pitch competitions, we've gotten city funding, provincial grants or federal grants, and also corporate donations and sponsorship. So one thing that I know about myself is I don't consider myself an academic grant writer. I do consider myself, though, a grant hunter. So anything and everything that is out there that we qualify for, we typically want to get that application in and then be able to, hey, if we don't get it, follow up, apply again. But when you put a lot of grants out there, some of them come through. And over the past couple of years, we've been able to raise over, with the last one, is over 2 million. So now, plus all of this, the money is there. It's just we have to position ourselves as best we can to put our best foot forward. And that's why we do these sessions. That's why we created the Grant Hunter University, so that we can show you what we've done. And so we've seen success with our clients in just following that same process, because a lot of times we're busy. So if we can get it done as much as we can upfront, then it makes applying for the different grants a lot easier. And a lot of grants are going to be coming out going forward, so we want to be ready. One thing as well that is great for us to get money, but what we really find, I guess, we love seeing other people get money. So being able, let me make sure, I think I went backwards. Yeah. So whether it's supporting like Rescue Youth International, New Life Foundation, Custodia, Seventh Adventist Church in Mississauga, or Youth Village, showing them the process to apply for grants, and then sometimes getting creative and ACBN either leading the grant or also ACBN being able to be a trustee for a grant. So sometimes you might not be able to apply just on your own. You might need a trustee, and ACBN has been able to play that role for a couple applications. So we want to dive in. Hold on, did I skip a slide? Yes, so we want to dive in. So I'm gonna pull up the funding spreadsheet. So if you saw when I clicked on, there's my chat now. So when you click on the funding spreadsheet, it'll take you to the landing page where you can now, so you can actually watch this section of going through the spreadsheet on this landing page. So you can save that if you want. If you do put in your name, let's see, put in mine, and then mobile, nights. So once you hit submit, it'll take you to the spreadsheet. And then different tools that we use to find grants. So the Canada government, Canada.ca, has an actual really good page that shows you all grants that are available across all industries. So with this one, let me pull it up here. I typically encourage people you're in. So for example, if you're in agriculture and you hit continue, agriculture type funding. And now this is where, yes, you can see what's available, but a lot of times it gets overwhelming because it's going to show you, let's say, 10, and now each one is going to take time. So if you get stuck anywhere, that's where you can reach out to us and we can help you get through it. But if you're able to just see what's there and then get the application in, this is why I feel it's a great place. Oh, just they have. So do culture and sports. So for example, now the section of the Canadian government website that talks about culture, history, and sport. So this is where, let's see, the Canada Book Fund, so Canada Media Fund. So again, you can see things that you might qualify for, click through, read it, see if it's a fit. And then if it's a fit and the application process is smooth, get it in. Like anything that you find on this page or these pages that you, as you're researching, I'd say bookmark it, start your spreadsheet that you can start putting in your own grants and keep track of what you find. And then the ones that are more difficult, look for support. The ones that are easy to knock off the to-do list, I'll get it done. One of them, like the business one, this is where you can put in information about your business, and then it's going to give you a list of the different grants that you would qualify for. So you would go through, and for here, you could put like you're looking for grants, and then you can say you're looking for between up to 250,000. You're trying to grow and expand and hire people. Oops. Go to the next one. So if you do want to skip this and just see everything and anything, you can click here actually and just view all. There's 1,561 programs. That can be overwhelming, although it does segment it. But for here, if you want to just keep narrowing it down, you can say you're in Ontario. Let's say we are in education. Where's education? And we're in education. And then you can let them know like how many employees we have. Our revenue is around here. We are incorporated. We're nonprofit. And we do have Canadians on our team, Black Canadians, LGBTQ, and newcomers and women. And then show. So I typically like to show all programs that exist, but you can filter down to just ones that are accepting clients right now. But so like actually if we click that one, so let's see, there's 11 that are open right now that we could go for. So this is where it talks about grants. So it does show, let's see what's available. So My Tax, I know that's for hiring grants. This one's for community projects, to employ, for training your employees. We really like this one, the Canada Ontario Job Grants. Tree planting projects. I'm curious, this financial assistance for health community benefits. Who is running this? So something like this. So employee can sponsor a project and must give meaningful work and not be longer than 52 weeks. So something like this would be interesting to now open up and investigate. So Ontario Job Creation Partnerships. So this is something that I had never heard of. So, you want to look through, see if it's a fit, and then if you click apply, how to apply. And I think these ones, you typically have to, you have to do it with an Employment Ontario office. So again, now you know the process. Go have that meeting, see if this is a fit. And that's why doing this research is so important, because now this is something that I would have missed. So it's something that you can investigate. I'm definitely going to investigate it because I don't think we have this one on our spreadsheet yet that I've seen. Okay, so my homework tonight is to add this one to our spreadsheet. So one other portal that I want to show you. So this Federal Benefits Finder was the one that we just did. So when you put in all the information, it then spits out filter results, or if you go back, let's see if you go back, and you just want to see all the results, you can click down here and it'll show you every single program that has existed, but it does split it into different categories. So there's a tab for grants, there's a tab for loans, there's a tab for tax credits, wage subsidies, advice, partnerships, research, and other. So you can take time, or if you have team members, I'll give them this task and say like, hey, check through each task and make a list of at least 10 things or grants and funding that we could be looking at. So that's more directed specifically to the government. So the other tools that utilize AI and scraping the internet is Happily.ai and Hello Pocketed. So I would create accounts for both of them, so that way you're able to put in information about your business, and then their platform filters and researches to see what you could qualify for, and you'd be able to then research and see if you can apply for those. So on here, again, at any time, if you do feel stuck, send an email to connect@empoweredforex.com. Let us know what you're working on, and then we can see how we can support or at least guide you through. And if you do want to learn how to write grants and use our blueprint, we have the Grant Hunter University here. I'll put it into the chat just so I don't forget, but I'll remind myself to put it in later as well. But that allows you to get access to all of our templates, the budget, work plan, the way that we write, how to write, our blueprint creator. That to me is something that will help you write all the different grants that you find. So I really encourage people to start there, like research, see what you qualify for, and then learn a bit about the way that you could write the grants using templates, and then apply, and then we can support you with reviewing. But this spreadsheet, again, start a company is one that we typically miss. The Durham region, that one is open right now. I saw Summer Company is open again. So it's going to be, I believe, May 1st is the deadline. So if you do know a student under 30 that has been thinking about starting a business, or even hasn't thought about it, but could use this grant, you get up to $3,000. So let our youth know that they can apply for these things. The for-profit grants, the raise one was really good. Usually it opens once a year. So it closed last year, December, or no, October. So hopefully this fall it'll open again. The different starter company ones open and close at different times. So this spreadsheet is what we use to keep up to date as best we can with different grants, whether for-profit grants or nonprofit grants. But the nonprofit grants, I did want to show you the Ontario Trillium Foundation, because the Ontario Trillium Foundation just launched their, what would you call them, their deadlines for the upcoming year. So let me put this one into chat. So this is where, what I like about the Ontario Trillium Foundation is you're able to go through their process, and once you finish writing or any other grant that you'll find. And that's why we take elements from it as we build the blueprint, so that once you do our blueprint, you can tackle a lot of these different grants and not feel overwhelmed. Complex ones that you would find. But I did want to go for the deadlines. So they have a range of grants that are going to be coming out throughout the year. But you'll see the first one, it looks like it's going to be the capital grant. And then the seed grant is going to be available. The grow grant is going to be available. So seed is like in August, and then the grow one is in November. The Youth Opportunities Fund, I believe one is open right now for their systems innovation grants. They also have another stream called the test grant and the scale grant. This one's going to be due April the 9th. So this is where, again, it sounds like it's far, but you want to keep an eye out, because actually if it says it's due April 9th, I'm not sure if you can submit just yet, but I would book a meeting, because you can always, let me see, you can book a meeting with their team so that you can let them know, oh, right here. So I would email them, and so book a coaching call. And that way you can let them know about what you are working on, and they can give you guidance if it does fit into what the Youth Opportunities Fund is looking for. So I would always encourage you to book a coaching call. They do have some webinars coming up. Let's see when the next one is. These ones are going to be their next grant. So I'm going to put this link into the chat as well, because it'd be good to learn about what they're doing. All right. So a couple areas of this spreadsheet that I did want to share as well that we typically overlook, because yes, grants are great, but the timelines for grants are very difficult. For the Youth Opportunities Fund, you're probably going to apply in April. Actually, if we look at it, the timelines. So you're going to apply in April. They're going to give about 6 weeks, and then the actual application is going to be due July 9th. Because the expression of interest is the first one, and then you have to put in the full application, and then 8 weeks after that is when they're going to give you a declined or approved, and so the grant actually starts November 1st. So money was probably going to flow in October. So April, May, June, July, August, September, October. So 7 months, and typically that is the range, like 6 to 9 months from applying to getting money when you're going for grants. So it's not really sustainable to run your business or run your organization. So you do want to look at alternatives, and some of the alternatives that we do encourage people to get good at is looking at what loans could you go after to help you execute your vision sooner, because loans typically process, I would say, can be as quick as 2 weeks, as long as 6 to 8 weeks. So it allows you to get the money. And then if you have a strong business plan, you can use that money to then grow the business, grow your social enterprise for your nonprofit, and then use that growth to pay the payments. So this page shows different microloans that are out there. It also shows some of the bank programs that are also out there for Black entrepreneurs, and also how to look at investment, looking at angel investment or venture capital. We're working on getting more information from these types of organizations so that when you're looking for investment, we know where to point you so that you can pitch your idea. And for venture capital, same thing. We know where to point you so you can get your idea. But one thing that was just launched, well, not just launched, but rebranded. So Dream Legacy Foundation partnered with DMZ, and they created the Black Innovation Zone. So I want to see if I can pull this up. The Black Innovation Fellowship, which is now, I believe, called the Black Innovation Program. So if you do know a tech first, because the Black Innovation Fellowship allows you to get an initial grants to get your kind of tech startup going and get your first prototype done. And then as you get that done, it walks you through all the different steps of pre-seed funding, seed funding, up to, I think, Series A, and then it kind of graduates you into another program. So this one is great. If you know of a Black tech founder, I would encourage them to check this out. But again, this spreadsheet shows other options and other funding opportunities. But also one that we typically miss is reaching out directly to foundations. And foundations do have, I mean, in total, billions of dollars as assets. And now the government is trying to get them to carve out more of that money to grant out. Because I believe so if a foundation had a certain amount, they only had to grant out 2.5% of it. I believe they got it up to 5%. So more money is going to be granted out this year. So you want to start creating relationships with these foundations. And at any time of the year, you can send a note to them just to find out, hey, what is their investment thesis? When do grants typically come out? And sometimes you can send an unsolicited proposal. So when you go through Grant Hunter University, now you're going to have this grant blueprint. You can send that concept to somebody unsolicited and say, hey, this is what we're working on. Would love to see if it fits with what you want to grant. So finding out more about these foundations and how you align with them, and then having that initial conversation with them. So I'll book a call. Hey, if you can take somebody out to lunch, I'll definitely invest in that, because foundations want to grant into community. Now that they're going to be granting more because they have to do 5% of their endowments, and the CRA added that they don't only have to grant to charities. So you can be a nonprofit, but they call them non-qualified donees, and you're able to apply to foundations now, and they can grant to nonprofits that are not charities. So these are things that are all changing. So they're slow to change. So you want to make sure that you have a relationship with these organizations so that when they're ready to roll out this money, you're in good position and you know somebody there. So again, we're working on this spreadsheet to find the best contact person and their website. So stay tuned. And also don't forget, all the work that you do, you should be researching it. Yes, it's great to lean on other people's research, but if you're able to use your data and create your own reports, and there's grants out there to do this research, I would lean into that as well, because these are grants that we typically miss in our community, and we have to rely on other people's research. When we are the experts, you are doing the work, you should also be using the data to do your own research so that people can be sourcing you for your information, and you can get funded to actually do the research as well. And to final, we're trying to get better at finding more arts grants. The link that I found on the Canada.ca website, we're definitely going to start populating this list with more of those grants and arts and culture type grants. But this spreadsheet, hey, it's here for you. It's free to access. We're going to keep it as up to date as possible. So bookmark this somewhere in your, actually, let me bookmark that. And then check it. This is usually where I encourage people to check first, and then find a couple grants that you want to go after. then have a conversation, see if you need some help to write it, help to review it, or just help with seeing which ones match. Oh, there is the slides. All right. So I think we touched on the different grants that are available. We touched on some of the loans that are available. We're doing another session about the business plan blueprint, so stay tuned for that. And we talked about the business benefits finder that the federal government has. And a lot of times when you're on this grant journey or this funding journey, if you're the one at your business tasked with this or at your organization tasked with finding these grants, it can be daunting. And we did put together the Grant Hunter University so that you can get access to our templates, see things that work for us. Like I mentioned, we've raised over $2 million in the first 5 years. And then just in the last 2 years, we've raised another 3 million. And also with our clients, we've been able to see them get less anxiety about going after grants because all the answers are already done. They have the template, they know how to do the budget, the work plan, and how their project operates. So all these things is what we really encourage people to go through the Grant Hunter University so that you get access to information that helps things get easier. So I am going to put this into the chat. Actually, I'll grab the link after because I don't think this link works. But to give you an idea of some of the other services when you're needing to get grant writing done, it can range from 1,500 to over 25,000, depending on how complex and how many grants that we're writing. So that's why I always encourage people, learn how to write grants yourself first. And that's why the Grant Hunter University is important. And then get support with review. If you're only having people write it for you from scratch, it gets really expensive. So look at having somebody on your team learn this skill and then just get support with reviewing it. Because here's some of the costs again, writing from scratch, as low as $500 for hiring grants, up to $3,000 for community and provincial and federal grants. So I do want to say, I'll put this link, the link to our team from E4X is going to put it into the chat, but I'm also going to just navigate to the Empowered4X website. And it's really, the key things that are in Grant Hunter University are the templates. Understanding your project, understanding what questions that you're going to get, that's all great, but it's now the budget and the work plan is typically where grants either fail or get approved. So having a template to work from helps you get through that process a lot easier and with a higher probability of success. So the Grant Hunter University is $297, and I know it was actually supposed to go up in price January 1st, so it looks like the team has kept it lower for now, but it is a good time to get access to it. I'm going to put it in the chat. And we are in the process of revamping the course because so much other tools have come out now that support you with your writing. So getting this blueprint done quicker so that we can focus more on writing and finding what grants are out there. I would challenge you, we should be writing at least one grant a week. If you looked at that government website, there's over 1,000 different programs. We can find at least 50 in there that we somewhat can qualify for, or we can find a partner to work with so that we can get these grants in. So I'm going to put this in the chat just so if you're interested, I'll definitely check it out. But other than that, let me stop sharing and then open it up for questions. And again, thank you so much for your time and attention. As you can see, I love talking about funding. There's so much money flowing around us. It's time for us to get access to it and position ourselves in front of that flow of money. So feel free. I know, Shirley, you had said you had a question from the beginning. So I'd love to start with you if you want to go ahead.
Are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. Now, I'm a volunteer with a local Black church actually in Toronto, and we're looking for funding for a couple of different things. And I was wondering about the cost. That was the first thing, but you've just said it's anywhere from 500 to 25,000, depending on the complexity of the application. Is that correct?
So it would go between 500 to 3,000. That's if a person is going to write it for you. The up to 25,000 if we become like the grant team for an organization. So that's more like a retainer. and then we just
Mm-hmm.
write grants all year for an organization. But per grant, it's between
Mm-hmm.
500 to 3,000.
Okay. So then to help with a blueprint, is it the same thing?
That one, no, it's less. So the blueprint we do in the Grant Hunter University. So it would be 297, and then
Mm-hmm.
you get support from us to get the blueprint done.
Okay, all right. So then that answers the question. Now, in terms of, because we're looking for funding to purchase laptops, printers, it's for the youth program, and
Gotcha.
then also capital equipment to help to operate the church so that we can reach out to more donors because
Yeah.
we are helping to address food insecurity and a host of other things in the community as well. So we need funding to get our infrastructure in place to do that. And it seems as though there's tons of different places to go to based on what you're showing on your spreadsheet.
Yeah, absolutely. And even like what the Ontario Trillium Foundation, they've launched their
Hmm.
deadlines for their different grants. The capital one is the first one.
Hmm.
So that would help with
Hmm.
what you're trying to do, I'd say, with the laptops and around the
Hmm.
church, but then also
Hmm.
building relationships with foundations, like all the
Hmm.
foundations that care about food insecurity, care about youth, care about community. We want to start building relationship with them so that you can
Hmm.
let them know what you're working on and then be able to
Hmm.
pitch and get funding from them as well. So yes, the
Hmm.
money is definitely out there, and it's just a matter of putting together the package that you present so that you can apply
Hmm.
for grants and also pitch to
Hmm.
foundations.
Okay, and then my last question was, in terms of getting funding, because we'd like to build a new church somewhere in the GTA and
Gotcha.
perhaps have either a childcare center, seniors residence, or affordable housing attached to it. So,
Yeah.
what sort of funding would be available to do that?
That would take a mix because I've
Mhm.
seen other nonprofits like the Learning Enrichment Foundation, they actually have a building in Toronto that has,
Mhm.
well, it has various things, but it has like daycare is their main revenue driver.
Mhm.
And then now they've
Mhm.
purchased a building that they're renovating to have affordable housing.
Mhm.
So it can be done, but it's taken a lot of different types of funding to get it done. So yeah, that was
Mhm.
like a long-term project, but it can be done. I've
Mhm.
seeing it being done, so I know it's possible.
Mhm. Okay, all right. So then those are my questions then. I mean, you have to go through it very quickly because there's a lot of information there.
Yeah,
But
but
what I
I'll
think,
put our email and then
mhm,
feel free to follow up. And yeah, we can
mhm,
dig deeper for sure.
mhm. Because I think you said your email is connect@power4x.com.
Yes, that's right.
Because I think I sent you an email at
Mhm.
the ACBN email address.
Okay, I can check that, but the Connect one is probably better specifically around the grant writing support.
Okay, all right. So then what I'll do is resend it and add my extra bits to this email address.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And I did see a question. Is it 297 before or after tax? You know what? That is a great question. Let's see. I'm pretty sure it includes tax. I didn't see it say plus tax the last time.
Mhm.
Yeah, it doesn't say plus tax. I will confirm that, but I think it's just 297. So yeah, you should be good,
Mhm. Mhm.
right? And as we have a few minutes left, was there anyone else that had any questions? I'm checking the chat just to make sure. And this recording is going to go out to everybody. So what we're going to try and do is during the month have this recording so that we can send to people that, again, if you bump into somebody that's talking about funding and struggling to find
Mhm.
grants, send them this
Mhm.
recording, send them the spreadsheet, tell them, hey,
Mhm.
look here first. And so I
Mhm.
did get confirmation it is 297 including tax. So it's
Mhm.
297 flat.
Mhm.
And yeah,
Mhm.
spread
Mhm.
the word this year. Anybody that's complaining about money, let's show them the way.
Mhm.
Like at least
Mhm.
point them to where the money is, and then let's prepare them
Mhm.
to get the money as best
Mhm.
we can.
Mhm. Mhm. Okay, well, thanks a lot for your time and for the information. I'll connect with you by email, and I'm sure I'll be connecting with you fairly often as I go through the process.
Hey, that's why we're here. Looking forward to it.
Th-
But thank
Thank
you for
you.
being here. And again, have a great rest of the day, everyone. And Happy New Year again. And let's have a successful, prosperous 2025 and beyond. So have a good one.
Okay.